You're watching Moon News with your hosts, Sully Wogatre and Unit PXL97. Moon News, the only moon-based station covering Earth events, broadcasting in 6,918 languages. Get a truly outside perspective.
Good morning and welcome to Moon News. I'm Sully Wogatre.
And I am Unit PXL97. The human species continues to expand beyond the point at which their natural environment can support them.
Wow, it looks like they're approaching a world population of 7 billion.
I project humans will reach 7 billion people by the end of October 2011.
We here at Moon News are consistently tracking the human databases and sending down observational probes.
And other types of probes.
To try to make sense of the beliefs and behaviors of the creatures from this strange, underdeveloped planet. Today, we will be discussing American inequality. But first, let's get the latest on the 2012 presidential campaign. Minnesota Congresswoman Michele Bachmann officially launched her campaign into orbit this week.
Hi, my name is Michele Bachmann. Today I filed the necessary paperwork to seek the office of the Presidency of the United States.
Michele Bachmann, Republican presidential candidate from Minnesota. She has made a number of erroneous and disturbing statements in the press and American media and is currently running neck and neck with Mitt Romney.
The U.S. Census information to round up the Japanese and put them in the internment camps.
We're running out of rich people in this country.
Yeah, we are. We are running out of rich people.
I find it interesting that it was back in the 1970s that the swine flu broke out then under another Democrat president, Jimmy Carter, and I'm not blaming this on President Obama. I just think it's an interesting coincidence.
There isn't even one study that can be produced that shows that carbon dioxide is a harmful gas.
Barack Obama and the people that he's been associated with.
But do you suspect that a lot of people you serve with?
Their anti-American nature.
Well,
I wish the American media would take a great look at the views of the people in Congress and find out, are they pro-America or anti-America?
You know, PXL, I guess that if we're talking about Michele Bachmann, we've got to talk about the teabaggers.
Teabagging. The human act of repeatedly lowering one's ball sack onto one another's head.
No, not teabaggers. Tea partiers. The conservative political movement. That's what I meant to say.
The Tea Party movement is an American reactionary populist political movement consisting of a broad array of mostly ignorant and racist humanoids, united by their opposition to President Obama.
Congressmen are being teabagged, and Democrats are getting testy when expressing full-throated opposition. But who are these teabaggers anyway?
Freedom! Freedom! Freedom!
Boycott Hollywood and all of the commies! McCarthy and John Wayne were right!
Stand up for God and our nation and preserve the land and our freedoms for our children and our grandchildren.
I'm out here for tax. I mean, he's raising the taxes like crazy, and we need freedom. We didn't vote for this health care that he planned.
Because we're tired of the spending, tired of the lies that are going on, and we want to take our country back.
I've never been here before. I just wanted to see the Capitol building, see the White House. I had no idea this was going to be going on. Would you guys like to sign the cross? Yeah.
Obama has no emotion.
His mother was white.
I am not supporting Joe Wilson for president.
It hasn't even been a year yet, and he's already destroyed, most of the country. I mean, come on, that's crazy.
He's absolutely out of his mind.
What do you think here we have that he's the Antichrist?
It mentioned his name in the Bible. I think it was under Hebrew, but it stated Barack Obama, and they took his name and they separated his name, and they deciphered it, and Barack Obama, in its content, means Antichrist.
According to my data, 88% of the Tea Party source information comes from the false propaganda broadcasts of Fox News organization.
I find what these teabaggers are presenting a bit hard to swallow. They think they're being overly burdened with tax increases implemented by President Obama?
Actually, the Independent Tax Policy Center researched how Obama's tax proposals would affect workers and concluded that 95% of workers would receive a tax cut under Obama's plan.
So in other words, they're protesting their boss's tax increases. That sounds more like insanity. So who's behind all this teabagging? Corporate groups like FreedomWorks.
Met on a great battlefield of a new civil war. And the greatest part of that battlefield is the global warming battle. Now I know that in American speak you have a word for global warming. Can someone tell me what it is? All together, global warming is? Bullshit! Global warming is? Bullshit! That's better.
FreedomWorks basically paid to create the Tea Party. Of course we respect freedom of speech, but it looks like a grassroots organization is more like an AstroTurf organization of the right-wing fringe of the Republican Party, which is trying to teabag their perverted agenda down the throats of the American people.
The liberals, and to be clear, I am not one of those, want you to believe that the Tea Party movement is just the right-wing fringe of the Republican Party. But I am here to tell you nothing could be further from the truth.
Well, apparently Michele Bachmann is going nuts for the Tea Party.
Michele, you're a hottie!
I got my husband right up here. Don't make a move. During the last 100 days, we have seen an orgy.
I think I've had enough of this. What are the important issues for Michele Bachmann? What are her stances on issues important to the Intergalactic Council, like universal peace, cooperation, preservation of the environment?
Not all cultures are equal. Not all values are equal.
God then called me to run for the United States Congress. And I thought, what in the world would that be for?
It has been established yet as a fact that global warming is the issue of the day. And I think at this point, one thing that we need to do is look at the science.
He said, be submissive. Wives, you are be submissive to your husband.
The crown jewel of socialism, this bill.
I know enough not to fight with a dump truck.
You ain't seen nothing yet, baby.
I may not always get my words right, but I know that my heart is right.
In the most recent congressional election, 90 million Americans voted, only 42% of registered voters. Current polls show that Michele Bachmann is capturing 32% of potential votes, only a percentage point behind the frontrunner, Mitt Romney.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap backward for mankind.
Well, we aliens here on the moon have been watching human societies for thousands of years, and one thing that really interests us about you human beings is your stupid, strangely inefficient, and disproportionate methods of warning and motivating the development of your civilization. Sometimes, to our alien minds, it seems like you're all completely primitive. It's kind of funny, actually.
One example of this is the human wealth gap.
The fact is that to an extraordinary extent by comparative standards, the United States is a business-run society, which means that human rights are subordinated to the overwhelming, overriding needs of profits and investors.
According to my advanced positronic brain, the richest 1% of Americans take home an average annual salary of over $1.1 million a year, while the bottom 90% earn an average of $31,000 a year. This may come as a shock, but this change didn't happen overnight. For the past 30 years, the top 1% have been increasing their share of the country's income. If you imagine that all the wages of all Americans are pooled into one big pot before being paid out, then since 1979, the top percentage has more than doubled what it takes home as salary, while over 3/4 of Americans have seen their share of the pot decrease, some by as much as 30%.
Say, that reminds me, you remember back when humans used to have kings and they would rule over people using religious superstitions? I remember that whole thing with Henry VIII and all his wives. That was great for our ratings. Nowadays, humans have to be a whole lot more subtle about ruling over the masses with an iron fist.
The modern human society that has sprouted from the ruins of feudal society has not done away with class antagonisms. It has but established new classes, new conditions of oppression, new forms of struggle in place of the old ones. Modern-day human capitalism has simplified class antagonism. Society as a whole is more and more splitting up into...
Yes! Yes! Hello, puny biological beings. Surprised? After 6 billion years imprisoned in macro crystals, I'm finally free! I've stolen your Omni Calculator and taken your intergalactic counselors hostage. Now all I need are the Dino Gems, and the universe will be mine. Mine as I always dreamed. I have more power now than ever. Look upon the future of your worlds. There is no purpose for your existence. Once I destroy your galaxy, you will become a part of the space dust that I will walk upon. That will be your one and only purpose. You are so weak and helpless. There is nothing you can do to stop me. Give me the Dino Gems, or I will annihilate Zygopolis.
Hold on to your nuts and bolts, PXL! It's back to Planet Zygon!